And as you know, many are celebrating that guilty verdict of Derek Chauvin from the trial earlier this week. But despite a sense of relief from that, Damali Keith reports on the toll the death of George Floyd and this trial has taken on Americans' mental health.
If the trauma of racial injustice, police brutality, recent questionable police shootings, and anti-Asian attacks are weighing heavily on you, you are not alone.
The biggest emotion that I experience is just the heartache. Every time I have to see George begging and pleading for his life.
While the pain is certainly greater for George Floyd's family, like his cousin Tara Brown, many are experiencing similar heartbreak that just won't go away.
And now we know that racial trauma can cause things similar to PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Baylor College of Medicine psychiatrist Dr. Asim Shah says, yes, you can be mentally affected by tragic events happening in society.
The biggest problem we have with systemic racism is that if it continues for months, for years, and in some cases it continues for decades, that can cause a long-lasting trauma.
I just think that even though the verdict was right, I feel that I'm pessimistic about the future and the future for my son.
Dr. Shah says blacks may have added trauma regarding racial injustice because of the fear many feel daily regarding potential police encounters.
I saw my sons under that man's knee, my uncle, my brother.
This hits home to me because my father could have been George Floyd. My brother could have been George Floyd.
It was so much tension, well, not only in our city, all around the country.
As a black woman with who's married to a black man, and I have grown black men as children, it's been a very difficult few weeks. It's been a difficult many years, really.
Dr. Shah says healing begins with awareness and validation, which has happened in a big way over the last few months with people from all walks of life uniting.
Validation means that you need to believe that these things are real. Because the worst thing one can do is to minimize them and say, oh no, it's okay. It's not okay.
If you're feeling mental stress, Dr. Shah suggests getting a support system. Engage in activism, even if that means just in your community.
If we stand up to these injustices, the world would be a better place and we wouldn't have them.
And Dr. Shah adds, for those feeling guilt, he says, rather than doing that, learn about cultural sensitivity, treat everyone equally, and importantly, he says, teach your children to do the same and have age-appropriate discussions with them about what's going on.